Hello and welcome to Only Connect. I've mentioned before that my late grandfather was a plumber and it was his dearest wish that I follow in his footsteps. So it's with great pride on Only Connect that I can sort of make that dream come true by plumbing new depths with these, let's call them quirky introductions. Returning tonight are, on my right, Tom Cadge, a law graduate who once reported his car stolen when it was parked outside his mother's house. Oliver Paxman, a keen runner who has been punched by 2 international rugby players. And their captain, Matt Ansell, an amateur poker player who was nearly run over by Nelson Mandela in Cardiff. United by a soft spot for scrums, they are the Eggchasers. You demonstrated some excellent dance moves in your first heat, but what was the high point?
I think not knowing the Mr. Men was a high point for us who are educationally more savvy, but in general, just being here has been a great delight.
Thank you very much. You will be playing against, this time, on my left, Ashley Page, a maths graduate who ran around a Costa Rican racetrack 89 times. Ben Salter, a keen trumpet player who has never lost a left-handed arm wrestle. And their captain, Andrew Shaw, a crossword enthusiast who is distantly related to Robbie Keane. United by a knack for numbers, they are the Outliers. You were stumped by a neighbour's question in your first heat. Which question were you proudest to get right?
Ooh.
Did we get any right?
I think anything we got right was a bonus, I think.
Let's crack on with playing. Both these teams did lose their first round match, so tonight, unfortunately, somebody has got to go home. Eggchasers, you won the toss, so you'll be going first. Yeah. Please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
We'll start with the 2 reeds, please.
2 reeds. What is the connection? Oh, the music question right at the top of the show. What connects these audio clues? Here's the first.
Around the golf course, I'm on the park.
OK, we'll go next, please.
You and I were inseparable.
Yeah. OK, something like that. Yep, OK, next, please. This is to get the party started by the exclamation marks. OK, we'll take next, please. So things starting things. Yeah, the party started, yeah. They're all starting things.
They're all starting things. What did we hear?
Well, the last one was We Didn't Start the Fire, Billy Joel. Before that, it's Get This Party Started by Pink. Would you say Hot Chocolate for the second one?
Hot Chocolate. It started with a kiss.
Of course it is, yes. And I'm afraid I don't have an idea at all about the first one.
Ira Gershwin and Vernon Duke, I Can't Get Started. They're the writers, originally sung by Bob Hope in the Ziegfeld Follies of 1936. All to do with starting things. Well done. So that's got this party started. What a weird party it would be. Outliers, what would you like?
Water, please.
Water. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next?
Yeah.
Next, please.
That's from League of Their Own.
Okay. That's from League of Their Own?
I don't think so.
Next?
Yeah.
Next, please.
Wilson's from Castaway, isn't it? Yeah. They're from Tom Hanks.
They're all Tom
Yes.
Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, is A League of Their Own?
I don't know, it could be.
Do you want another one,
they're all
or you have to
shouted
go
by
for
Tom
it?
Hanks. Oh, yeah, Jenny's from Forrest Gump. OK, yes,
Sure?
it is.
OK. We think they're all shouted by Tom Hanks.
They're all shouted by Tom Hanks. You didn't need to see the last clue. You are a toy. On what occasions does Tom Hanks shout these things?
So the first one's from Forrest Gump, the second one's from A League of Their Own,
That's right, yes.
the third one's from Castaway, and the fourth one's Toy Story.
That's right. And who is Wilson?
He is a volleyball.
He is the volleyball that is Tom Hanks' friend in that film. Well done. Eggchasers, what would you like?
We'll go Twisted Flax, please.
Twisted Flax. This is the picture question, so you will be seeing your clues. Something connects them. What is it? Time starts now.
OK, I saw. So, next.
Other films that we're doing. Horror films,
yeah. Shall we just go for it, yeah? Series of horror films.
They are horror franchises. Well done. You a horror fan, Oliver?
I watched some of them.
Tell me about the Saw films. What's the plot of Saw?
Jigsaw setting challenges for people to escape.
2 strangers are pawns at a deadly game perpetrated by a notorious serial killer. What about Scream?
That's the
Stabbing.
classic 90s
Teenagers.
slasher. Yeah.
Teenage girl is terrorised by a killer who targets her and her friends using horror films as part of a deadly game. Let's have a look at the next two clues. What are we looking at there?
Halloween,
yes.
yeah.
What happens there?
That's Mike Myers.
Mike Myers stabbing people again with a hockey mask.
Yes, 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween 1963, he returns to the small town of Haddonfield to kill again. What about that last one?
It's Friday the 13th, yeah.
A group of counsellors at a camp are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp which years before was the site of a... Or was it? Jason, was he? Did it? That's awful. I was trying to inject some drama into our friendly quiz, but it's actually got too dark, even for me. Very well done. Coming in after 2 clues, you get 3 points. Outliers, what would you like?
Lion, please.
Lion. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Seven of those.
But it's not a sequence. Okay, so next, please.
That's Gordon Pym. Is that Edgar Allan Poe?
Maybe?
Yeah.
I feel like we're not getting...
Okay, so next. Yeah. Okay, next, please.
Oh, just
At least like only
maybe
people have only written one novel.
Yeah.
I think Arthur Gordon Pym is Poe.
It's in written one.
So, do you want to go for that? Or one more?
No, should we go for it?
Okay. We think these are novels by people who've only written one novel.
That is right. There's something else about them.
They're all dead.
They are single novels by people who've only written one novel, but plenty of other things.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the last clue. So, who wrote The Dwarfs?
I don't think we know that one.
Harold Pinter. Prolific as a playwright, but just the one novel. What about the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym?
Poe?
That's Poe, the short story writer. The bell jar,
Sylvia Plath.
the poet Sylvia Plath. And the picture of Dorian Gray, of course, Oscar Wilde. Plays, short stories, a famous letter, essays, that sort of thing, but just the one novel, so single novels by famous writers. Well done. Eggchasers, what would you like?
Ooh, we'll go for Eye of Horus,
The
please.
Eye of Horus. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next, please. Probably is. What have we got? Of the bodies, corpus. Next, please. Oh yeah, General Corporal. Yeah. So they are ranks in the army. So General, Corporal, Private. etc.
Exactly right. What do you think the fourth clue would have been?
So major, so not minor, maybe?
Not minor is exactly what it would have been. You should be a question writer. Yes, they are all denoting adjectives that could also be army ranks. Very well done. Back to you, Outliers, for the last question. The snake. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Yeah. Next, please.
Was that a real person?
Horatio. These are characters, so the Horatio's from Hamlet. Is Hector a character from something?
Possibly.
Hector's from Troy.
And next, please.
Rick
Allen.
No idea.
They all like brothers or something? Like famous brothers?
That feels really good.
I think. Next, please.
Michael
Caine.
Okay, well, we've got an S on the end, hasn't he?
I mean, he's a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rick Allen's like
These the real names of
3 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
the real names of people famous for doing things.
Nice.
Beautifully put, but not the answer, I'm afraid. Eggchasers, do you know?
Replaced by a brother? Or replacing a brother?
Not it. If you know who Hector Castro is, you will know the answer. Hector Castro scored the final goal in the 1930 World Cup for Uruguay, and he was a person who, aged 13, lost his right arm. Right, heroic one-armed footballer. Michael Caine's the chef, one-armed chef. Rick Allen, who might he be?
Someone with one arm.
It's the drummer in Def Leppard. And Horatio Nelson, of course, lost an arm. They all lost an arm. What illness did Horatio Nelson suffer from?
Smallpox?
Seasickness. He got terribly seasick, but he loved the sea so much he kept going anyway. All people who lost an arm. That means, at the end of round one, the Outliers have 4 points, the Eggchasers have 6. On to round two, the sequences round. You'll remember this, teams. You may see up to 3 clues. I want to know what comes fourth. Eggchasers, you're going first again. Which hieroglyph would you like?
We'll start with the lion this time.
Lion. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Killing Zoe, yeah. Possibly. Zoe picks up the loss. Okay, so we go next, please. Well, I mean, these could be in the first season of Pop Idol, because Darius was third. Zoe possibly. I don't know who was next. So if it's Gareth, then it's Will, isn't it? Do we want to guess it? Okay. All right. Next, please. Yeah. Will.
The answer is Will. What is this series?
This is the furthest, the only series I think of Pop Idol, and the final 4 contestants in that series. Darius.
In the order they finished.
In the order they finished, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's what
Zoe, but Darius, Dinesh, Gareth Gates, and Will Young.
That's right. It was not actually the only series. It was the first series. Okay. You were tempted to come in after 2 clues.
There's not many Dariuses, is there?
There's not many Dariuses. People expected Gareth Gates to win, didn't they? He was a big favourite. Did you watch that series?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Don't be afraid to. It was rather great. People thought it would be Gareth Gates, and then Will Young won with that rather rousing speech to Simon Cowell. He was so middle class, he did this speech. I must say, I think you're being a little bit impolite. I'm not sure that's called for. People absolutely loved it. They loved it. I get messages on this show, you know, I must warn you. If you say next and you don't say please, people will complain. I don't mind. I understand you're in a hurry to get to the next question. I salute that competitiveness. But people will write in, if you don't say, I have Horus, please, next, please, they get very cross. I like that too. I love you all. It is Pop Idol Series 1 results, and the winner was Will. Well done. Well done. Outliers, what would you like?
Water, please.
Water. OK. These are going to be picture clues. What sort of thing would you expect to see in the 4th picture? Here's the first.
Next, please. Jet ski. I've got no.
Is it definitely?
It could be an iguana. Yeah.
Next, please. Let's carry JK. Something. Anything to do with that?
Why?
That could be iguana.
Oh, karaoke.
Iguana jet ski karaoke.
Is it something that has?
It's got 2K.
It's got 2 Ks. Good. That's right.
Yeah, jet ski.
We'll go for a bottle of Lillet.
A what?
A thing with 3 L's with 2 L's in it. This is a terrible thing to choose.
Is that a thing? A bottle of Lillet?
Lillet, the like vermouth type thing.
Oh, I thought it was a brand of Tampax. I don't know why I'm looking at you. I don't know why I'm looking at you. No, that's not the answer, I'm afraid. Not the answer. Eggchasers, do you want to have a go for a bonus point?
We will go with a Lilo, apparently.
A lilo. That's not it either. Now, your problem is, it's not an iguana, at clue 1.
Oh.
It's a gecko.
Oh.
It ends K-O. Jet ski, K-I. Karaoke, K-E. We're going back because we want something that ends K-A. For example...
Kafka.
Kafka. Franz Kafka, the writer. Ko, ki, ke, ka at the ends of the words. A gecko, nocturnal lizard with adhesive feet. That sounds rather cool. I'd like to have adhesive feet. That might be the oddest thing I've ever said on this quiz, and that's saying a beakful. Eggchasers, what would you like?
Could we have the Eye of Horus, please?
Yes, you may. And so politely asked.
Thank you.
Thank you. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Okay. Next, please. Sorry. Next, please. So it's behind. Yeah. That's how many centimetres there are in that, isn't there? So what's it? 2.54. Yeah. IN 2.5.
IN 2.5 is the right answer. Very well done. What's happening here?
So these are metric equivalents of imperial measures in centimetres.
That's absolutely right. What are those measures?
So in inches, 2.5 centimetres, a foot is 30.5 centimetres, a yard and a chain, I guess.
That's absolutely right. And this incredibly boring question is salvaged by a rather excellent joke written by our question editor, Mr. Whaley Cohen. Let me share this with you. I've got just over 1,760 yards of paddy fields, he said, with a wry smile. a rice mile. It's a mile of rice. And that's the kind of fun we have on this show. You see, you think it's bad watching the programme? Imagine the dinner break. Very well done. Outliers, what would you like?
2 reeds, please.
2 reeds. What will come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Okay, there's 66 involved. There's 32 black, 31. Next.
Next, please. How many of these are there?
I think there might be 32.
So you half in each time.
64, 32, 16, 8?
Would you want to go for that?
Is it roughly 30? That seems like too many.
Yeah, I'm thinking
So
next.
Next, please.
Okay.
OK, so there are 8 of those. So it's 64, 16, so 2 to the 6.
2 to 6.
2 to the 5, 2 to the 4. No, 2 to the 3.
I mean, it's going to be something like 4.
Something with 4 things. What's got 4 things?
2 seconds.
Go members of the Beatles.
And why would that be?
There are 4 of them.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Eggchaser, would you like to go for a bonus point?
Teams on Only Connect. Because there's 2.
Not it, I'm afraid. Why do you think there should be 4?
We thought there were 64 squares on the chessboard.
There are.
Maybe 32 books in the Christian.
Nope.
No.
So 64 squares on the chessboard, 27 books in the New Testament, 8 Kings Henry of England.
Yeah.
So we want something of which there is 1 because it's cubed numbers. 4 cubed, 3 cubed, 2 cubed, 1 cubed, anything of which there is 1. And I must say, by the way, a Texan voice has come in my ear, the Texan voice of Mr McGackie saying, how could you be so mean about Mr Whaley Cohen's excellent rice field joke? I really do think that is a brilliant joke. I really do. I mean, it's not easy to make a joke about the metric equivalent of a mile. So, you know, if you've got a better one, send it in. So nobody got that one. But Eggchasers, you may have another question.
Finish with Twisted Flax. For us.
Twisted Flax. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Next, please. This is his actual name, isn't it? Should we just go with Johnson? Yeah? Johnson?
The answer is Johnson. What's clue 3?
Was it De Pfeifel?
De Pfeffel. That is
Pfeffel.
absolutely right. Who is this?
This is, I choose my words carefully, the great parliamentarian Boris Johnson.
It is Boris Johnson, the writer and politician. That is his full name. Very smart. De Pfeffel comes from his paternal great-grandmother. He's descended from German nobility. Very well done. 1 question remains for you outliers. Horned Viper. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
That could be anything.
Next, please.
Okay, so...
OK, so what could go first?
Broken heart.
Hearts and heart.
And this will be a sequence. Yeah, it should go next. Yeah.
Next, please. Trade. Broken.
Broken window.
Sound.
Rough something in golf.
Rough shot.
Rough diamond.
But what goes last?
3 seconds.
Cheese line.
I love it as a random guess, but it's not the answer. Eggchasers, do you know?
We'll go for Wood Line.
Not it either. You said broken heart. You said rough diamond. Initially, you said rough trade. I like how quickly your mind went to that. You're my kind of guy. But no, suits of the pack. Sam Spade, broken heart, rough diamond. We're going down in bridge order through the suits towards club. So something golf blank, culture blank, something followed by club. You were doing the lateral thinking. You're just not putting the ball into the hole. Unlucky. That means at the end of round 2, the Outliers have 4 points, the Eggchasers have 13. It's the connecting wall now, and Outliers, your turn to go first, so please choose lion or water.
Water, please.
OK, you have 2.5 minutes to solve the water wall, starting now.
Eggchasers is a search engine.
OK, but so is Baidu?
Baidu is as well.
As is Lycos?
Sure. Dongpile is as well.
Okay,
So
can you
I'll leave out Lycos. I'll leave out Dong.
Patsy, Sucker.
I'll leave out Kojia.
Mean the same thing. Mark.
I'll leave out Baidu. I'll leave out Bing.
Weibaloo.
There you go, cool. all these?
Like they're synonyms.
Okay, cool.
So like,
Yeah, sure. Okay. What is swashbuckle?
Carrier, post, carrier
Carrier pigeon? Carrier, no.
Bowling green.
Is there a word one here at all?
Probably.
Poster,
So
marker.
what do we have going with Patsy?
So we have Patsy, Mark, and Sucker are like the targets of a con.
Okay, and then
Pigeon?
nice.
Right.
3 lives now.
So Bodge's job backwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Could it be books?
Swashbuckle mean? Ends in buckle. which is
Driver a
like
golf
fancy.
word?
Yeah.
Driver-
Swashbuckle is like
green is a
pirate.
golf word, right?
Is green a golf
yeah.
word?
Yeah, 100%.
So what, driver,
Well, yeah.
green,
Post,
post,
maybe? I can believe it.
and something else? Potentially.
Bodge.
A demon
don't
could be a
know.
massive hit. A Wabaloo could be like a. What the other one be?
Is it like thing as a noise?
Swashbuckle.
Things with pirates.
Someone's washing it.
Is it worth trying something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So what? Bing?
Okay. Maybe.
Demon?
I like Bodge. I
I like Bodge as well, which is not a phrase I've heard. So.
It's not going to be this tall, is it?
20 seconds.
Is there anything else we can put in here? Postmark? No. Postcode?
10 seconds. That's it, you solved the wall. Very well done. But do you know why? Tell me about the first group, Dogpile and so on.
So you thought these are all search engines?
These are all search engines.
They're search engines, well done. Next group, Patsy, Mark, Sucker, Pigeon.
Yes, these are all like the targets of a con? Or...
Exactly right, victims of a con. And the next group, Demon, Driver, Post, Green.
You think you're going with golf still?
It feels golfy. It feels
Okay.
like we haven't got any better.
Yeah, we'll say they're all golf words.
I myself would agree that many golfers are demons, but I think officially it's not held to be the case. It's not that. You put something before them all. Racing. Racing demon, racing driver, racing post, racing green. That's what it is. And the last group, Bodge, Bing, Wabaloo, Swashbuckle.
Actually,
All things pirates do.
we've got nothing else, have we? All things pirates do.
No.
As a pirate like
You are both too old and too young to get this one. They are shows on CBeebies, children's programmes. But you did find all 4 groups and you gave me 2 connections. That's a total of 6 points. Let's bring in their opponents now and give them the other wall, the lion wall, see how they get on. You have 2.5 minutes to solve the lion wall, starting now.
Okay, what have we got? So we got chocolates, haven't we? Yeah. Okay, should we just start with that? So Reese's and then Lynch, yeah. So.
Bit of Stephen Fry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So. Okay, we got 6 though. So maybe we want to
take this one.
take the spoils too.
Dogs.
Okay. I don't see any other on. Oh, so
Have you put gods?
We've got comedians and Beckett, Fry.
okay. Do we want to try some of these?
I don't know.
Okay, right. Let me just. So we just need to get rid of one of these, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Maybe that's not it.
Art gallery, room.
Okay. Okay. So spoils it, sullies it, things that you besmirch.
Ruins
yeah. Ruins it. Okay.
Mars it.
Mars it. Okay. Right. So let's go back to the.
Yeah, go back to those.
Okay. So
Reese, so that's
leave out Reese. And leave out Hershey.
Hang on,
Okay. No.
Fry's from Futurama.
Futurama. Okay.
No, nothing else.
No. Gods of War. Art of War.
Dogs of War.
Dogs of War. Yeah. Okay. So what else is it?
Masters of War.
Okay. All right.
3 lives now.
Okay. So we're back to chocolates again. So that must be a chocolate, I guess. So I've not heard of it myself.
Oh, no, what's we got? We've got
Reese. These are little names, not fries.
So these aren't chocolates, are they? As far as we know.
30 seconds.
Okay, let's go back to these then. So this, and this, and these 2, and this one.
One more
And then
life.
which one are we going for?
20 seconds.
Got to be that one. These 2?
yes.
You've solved the wall. Very well done. Now, what about the connections? Mars, ruins, sullies, spoils.
To make, well, to soil them all, they're all synonyms of each other. So,
They're synonyms of each
yeah.
other, exactly. Dogs, masters, God, art.
of war,
Of war. Lovely to see God on the wall there. How many books in the New Testament?
29.
It's 27! Oh,
Terrible. Memory's awful as well.
Lint, Girardelli and so on.
These are the chocolates.
Those are the
Luxury
chocolate makers,
chocolates,
and
yeah.
there are lots and lots of them on that wall.
Okay.
And the last group, Reese, Fry, McFly. Beckett,
Okay, so I've been told what they...
I think they might be characters played by Michael J. Fox.
they are not. And you mentioned Fry from Futurama.
Okay.
They're time travellers. It is Marty McFly from the greatest film of all time, Back to the Future, Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap, Kyle Reese in Terminator. They are time travellers. But you found 4 groups. You gave me 3 connections. That's a total of 7. Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Outliers have 10 points. The Eggchasers have 20. So a bit of ground for you to make up Outliers, but it can be done, especially if you guys mess it up and throw points away. It's the missing vowels round. Fingers on buzzers, teams. I can tell you that the first group are all words that are often misspelt. Eggchasers,
Accommodation.
correct. Outliers,
Conscientious.
yes it is. Eggchasers,
Environment.
yes it is. Tricky one this. Foreseeable. Next category, places which are often misspelt. Outliers.
Connecticut.
Not it, I'm afraid. You're missing some letters. Eggchasers, do you know?
Cincinnati.
Yes, it is. Next clue. Eggchasers,
Edinburgh.
correct. Eggchasers,
Reykjavik.
correct. Outliers,
Biscuit.
well done. Next category, people whose names are often misspelt. Outliers,
Dan Aykroyd.
well done. Outliers,
Francois Mitterrand.
yes it is. Outliers,
Shia LaBeouf.
good quizzing. Outliers,
Mahatma Gandhi.
what a great round. Next category, prizes for losing or finishing last. Outliers,
Wooden spoon.
correct. Eggchasers,
Dusty bin.
correct. Eggchasers,
Blankety blank. Oh.
too late, the bell's gone, as I think he knew it's a blankety-blank checkbook and pen. But who is getting the prize for coming last and who's getting the prize for winning tonight's match? Nobody, because we have no prizes of any kind, even at the end. Nevertheless, I can tell you that finishing with 16 points are the Outliers, and with 26, it's the Eggchasers. Very well done, Eggchasers. You're through to the next round of the competition. Outliers, what a great round 4. You were fantastic on the people with names. But how can you spell your name like that? Unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. But thank you so much for playing. It was lovely to meet you. And thank you for watching. Really, thank you. I mean that. I know it's not the easiest viewing, and we really appreciate that you turn up week after week. So thank you. Join me again for another episode of Only Connect, the politest show on TV. Goodbye.